The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
Keeping our island community informed and secure. Be alert, be aware, and care. Together we can have a safe Hawaii.
Aloha, and welcome to the Personal Preparedness Podcast with Hawaii County Civil Defense. It's the podcast that gives you the tools to cope with the natural and human-caused disasters and hazards that we face here on Hawaii Island. My name is Adam Weintraub, and I'm a staff officer with Civil Defense, and here with me is Talmadge Magno. Talmadge is the administrator of Civil Defense for Hawaii County. Last episode, we were just moving into Hawaii's hurricane season, which is also the dry season here in the Central Pacific, which runs from June through November. The paradox of this season is that while it can bring high winds and coastal flooding, it can also bring drought and wildfire, which seems like it's out of character with something that can also dump 20 inches of rain on you. But those are the hazards that we have in the season. 1 month in, we haven't really experienced any tropical cyclones yet, and knock wood, we will not. It's supposed to be a somewhat lighter than usual season, but we're definitely seeing some dry conditions around the area. Talmadge, can you tell us a little bit about what we've seen so far this season?
Well, we know that coming out of the wet season, we had a drier than normal wet season, so that put us behind the curve already. And moving to the dry season, that set us up to where we do have some areas on the island that are in extreme drought. So any kind of wet weather would be appreciated, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a dry summer.
So that's the big picture for hazards at this time of year. We start July. There are three vital areas in personal preparedness. It's know your hazards, stay informed, and make a plan. And we've talked about some of the potential hazards. There's a lot more information about them on the Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency website. So how do you stay informed about hazards that may be an imminent threat here on the Big Island? Civil Defense uses a bunch of different tools to spread the word. If you listen to your local radio stations, you've probably already heard Talmadge. Talmadge does a regular report to our radio stations talking about the hazards that we face. He talks about wind advisories. He talks about flash flood watches, high wind warnings, even the occasional volcanic eruption. Why do we like radio, Talmadge?
Well, we know that radio reaches a lot of the island, and we do have a primary carrier that will always push out our messages. But everybody has a radio, whether it's in your home or in your vehicle. And we can put out updated messages via the radio system that'll reach island-wide.
Yeah, there was even some talk a year or two ago about not requiring manufacturers of autos to include the AM and FM radios. And emergency managers were very unhappy about that because we know that even if the power goes out, you've still got that battery in your car and you can still turn on the radio and listen for emergency messages there. So apart from radio, we've got a number of other tools that we use. Do we notify people directly about hazards?
Yes, we do. And there's a number of ways that we say we launch the messages. Currently, we have a vendor called Everbridge, and they do our mass messaging. Messages will go out via telephone call, a recorded telephone call via landline or your cell phone. Also, it'll put out social media through Facebook and X, and then we've got text messaging or email. So you can choose whatever mechanism you want to receive your messages, and then you can choose for whatever impacts or disaster or situation that you want to receive messages for, such as flooding or fires or high surf, whatever might what you might be vulnerable to.
Now, we do ask that you subscribe yourself to those messages. It's not something that just comes automatically. And you can sign up on our website or at the address that's going to show on your screen here. The Everbridge messages are an excellent way to stay informed because, for one thing, you can tailor the kinds of hazards, as Talmadge said. And also the Hawaii Police Department has just started using Everbridge to send their messages as well. I believe they may be speaking about that on their half of the podcast this time around. How else can people stay informed about the hazards that we face here?
So the other system is a national system, and that gets tested along with our sirens at the first of the month. And so that is called the Integrated Public Alert Warning System, otherwise known as IPAWS. And those systems are two different systems. Emergency alert system is what you see on your TV scroller.
Oh, that's the one we used to call the emergency broadcast system.
Yes.
And that's been updated since then.
Yes.
Got it.
And then that's also the radio message that you'll hear during that alert. The other component of the IPAWS is the WIA, Wireless Emergency Alert System, and that's what you will get a text message across your telephone or your cell phone.
Yeah, one of the nice things about the Wireless Emergency Alert System is that unlike regular text messages, it's on a separate channel that comes to your phone. So it's not subject to, when everybody is trying to contact auntie and uncle and let them know about the storm coming in. We don't have that congestion on the Wireless Emergency Alert System. It's a special band that's just for emergency communications, which is a great way to prioritize that kind of information.
Yes, and all of those alerts come with a special tone that you don't really usually hear, and so it definitely gets your attention.
What about the sirens? Where do the sirens fit in?
So the all-hazard outdoor alert siren system is used basically when you hear that, you go to your mechanism to receive messages. So whether you use your phone or TV or radio, the siren is just telling you to go to those systems so you can see what message is being broadcast or put out, so that you know what's coming, what actions you need to take, and proceed from there. But that's what the siren is. Unfortunately, the sirens are mechanical. Sometimes they do fail. So we ask that people not just depend on sirens, but depend on all the other mechanisms that we mentioned already.
And one thing that it's important to note is that there are some circumstances that develop so quickly that we don't have time to set off the sirens. So if you feel a strong earthquake and you're by the coast, don't wait for the siren. If you feel a strong shake or you see the ocean recede or you hear a roaring noise coming from the ocean, get to high ground first and then seek more information later. I think that's one stress that we have to think. One thing we have to stress when we're living here on Hawaii Island is that we do have that seismic threat of a local tsunami. Most tsunamis come from a long way away, but we do every once in a great while have a serious threat from right here at home.
Yes, that's some of the education that we need to continue stressing, that if you feel a large earthquake, you're down on the coastline, you need to move to high ground, especially if it's a large earthquake.
Now, those all seem like they're electronic methods. Will we ever have a face-to-face interaction to let people know that they need to take action?
Absolutely, we have that. That's actually protocol that we have with the fire department, police department, even public works, whatever crews that we have going out into the communities. If there's an evacuation or just information that needs to be spread, these officials will be going door to door to let people know what's going on.
So multiple channels of possible alert. We've got AM, FM radio. We've got TV stations. We've got the wireless emergency alerts, the emergency alert system on broadcast. We've got the sirens. And then when all else fails, we may even go door to door or make phone calls to people who are in an area that's seeing an imminent effect.
Correct. And one other product that we put out is, and it's on the internet under our civil defense webpage. It's called our hazard map, and that'll display any updates from National Weather Service, Hawaii Volcanoes Observatory. We'll post any road closures, shelters that need to be open, and so forth. Any critical information we'll be putting on that hazard map.
Okay, so the alerts are the way that you stay informed. The most important thing you can do after you've stayed informed is to make a plan. And there are many resources on our website that show you how to make a plan and what that plan should include. And we'll talk more about how to make a plan in our next episode. Until then, I'm Adam Weintraub.
And I'm Talmadge Magno.
And we're with the Hawaii County Civil Defense. And we thank you for your attention. Stay safe out there. And the question we got to ask you, are you ready?
Aloha, and welcome to another episode of Police Profiles. Today we're going to be talking about the Everbridge messaging system. Hawaii Police Department has been using Nixle to distribute emergency messaging and our media releases to the public for the past 15 years. And now, starting in July 2025, we're going to be moving over to the Everbridge system. And that's why I'm so excited to have Tom Olson of Hawaii County Civil Defense with me today to talk about Everbridge. Tom, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for the invitation, Denise.
We're going to move, Hawaii Police is moving under civil defense umbrella of Everbridge. Walk us through what that is going to look like.
So Civil Defense has been using Everbridge as a messaging vendor for several years.
And we all get those notices, the high surf warnings, volcanic eruption notices, that sort of thing.
Really those natural hazards, that's what we focus on at Civil Defense. But police is now under that umbrella of alerts and notifications. But what does that really mean to the public? That we have now another vendor, a different vendor. So the Nixle contract and that vendor is going away, and everybody can sign up for Civil Defense and Hawaii Police Department alerts on the same account, on the same
all
page.
in one place. So it makes it so much easier to get all the different types of alerts. You check one box for Civil Defense for natural disaster kind of stuff. And then if you want to get police notices like police activity, runaways, missing keiki, missing kapuna, you can also get those as well.
Let's take that one step further, because when folks sign up for Everbridge, or maybe they're already signed up for Civil Defense Everbridge, they just log into their account and now they can see that there's a checkbox for Hawaii Police Department alerts that's probably unchecked. So they can check it. Or what they can do is they hit a little caret next to it. They can hit that drop down and they can choose what type of police alerts or what type of civil defense alerts they would like to receive. So possibly may not be relevant where folks want to hear about all the types of messages that we send out at civil defense. So you can choose which ones you want to receive, and you can do the same exact thing with police.
So for police, there will be 5 categories, is my understanding: missing people, missing keiki, runaways, police activity, and road closures. I think that's 6.
That's correct.
Yeah. Where do people go to sign up for Everbridge notices?
So right now, and we've had this on our civil defense website for a long time, but they go to the main civil defense website, and they go to the alerts tile. They click that. There's a link right there that says County of Hawaii Alerts and Notifications. They click that. If they already have an Everbridge account that they've created to receive civil defense alerts, they just sign into that account, and then they'll see that there's an option to now get police alerts. Or if you don't have an account, that'll give you the option to create one.
Sign in. So it's hawaiicounty.gov under civil defense, or this information, the links will also be on the police website at hawaiipolice.gov.
That's right.
And so, as you said, if people already receive the Everbridge notices, they can just log into their account, check the box for police. So maybe they want to get notices about missing people, and road closures, but not runaways. And you can customize that.
That's correct.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there's also an option where they can choose how they want to receive the alerts, not just the type of alerts they would like to receive, but how. And what does that mean? So typically traditionally in the police's Nixle system, that you could get email and text. Well, now there's more options. So you could get email, text, you could get a phone call if you prefer that way to be notified to your landline home phone or your mobile phone. You can do both if you would like to, or you can get notified in all the different ways. There's also an Everbridge app, which is not required. You don't have to get it through the app, but you very well could. I personally like the app because it organizes the messages a little bit better. So
yeah,
if I were just
the app's super useful, and it's free.
Yeah, and actually, we'll just expand on that. Everything is free, so the public won't have to pay for this service.
So all the messages, all the alerts, it's all free.
Yes.
Now, what about the Nixle subscribers? What about all the people that have signed up and been receiving Nixle messages? Are they now not going to get any messages, or are they going to get double messages?
So let's break that up a little bit. So right now, we understand that all of those tens of thousands or several thousand subscribers that already get the Nixle messages, all those contacts have been transferred over to Everbridge. So if the public chooses not to create an Everbridge account and they already received the Nixle messages, they will also receive they will now receive the police department Everbridge messages. But what we encourage the public to do is to first create an account under Everbridge, because you can really customize those alerts like we've talked about. And then after they've created the Everbridge system, their sign up for Everbridge, they can go ahead and remove their name from the Nixle
Just go and delete their Nixle account, because then it might be easier. It sounds like you can really customize what you receive by Everbridge.
Yes.
Maybe you want phone calls about police activity, or when we're doing a manhunt, for instance, and an officer-involved shooting, but you don't necessarily need to hear about every runaway. And you can customize that.
Right. But we've also found on the alternative, we found that a lot of folks like to receive everything, because maybe you have a tutu or an auntie in one part of the island that maybe hasn't signed up or hasn't taken that next step. Well, that family member could just call or text or notify that other family member on a different part of the island to say, hey, in case you didn't know, this is happening.
But we want to encourage people to sign up for the Everbridge notices. So again, the link is on the Hawaii Police Department website, which is hawaiipolice.gov. And it's also on the Civil Defense website, which is...
So it's hawaiicounty.gov/civil-defense. And then you scroll down, one of the very first tiles says alerts. They click on that. And then the first link they're shown is County of Hawaii alerts and notifications.
And it's all free.
Yes.
And so you can sign up for things like tsunami warnings and hurricane warnings and volcanic activity, that sort of thing under civil defense. Or if you want, and I shouldn't say just or, because it's or if you want to hear about runaways or missing people or police activity, and these are for alerts and advisories only, correct?
Yes.
Now, the police department puts out media releases via Nixle as well, and that's going to continue under Everbridge as well. Is there a separate category for media releases? How do people keep receiving that information?
Yes, there is a separate category for media releases. So we didn't talk about that earlier, but that's one of the other categories, media releases. But those will only be sent out by email.
Because they're not as critical as, say, a road closure or a missing person.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
So it'll be just the email, but you're not going to get a media release text message or a media release phone call, because it's not really, there's no urgency to it.
Right. And so will people still be updated, like once a missing person is found or once the road is opened? Will they get a subsequent follow-up?
Yes. So if they choose to receive, let's say, using the example of a runaway, that a runaway message has been released, then the officers who made that first message will then have the option to either do an update message to that. Maybe they have more information about their age or other physical identifiers, but they also will close out that message by saying runaway located will be the final message in that scenario.
And so it's really exciting that we're moving from the Nixle system to the Everbridge system, because now it's going to be so much easier for our viewers at home. They can get all their emergency messaging information in one place. And it's my understanding that down the line, other county departments may join in as well. And so people can sign up for a variety of alerts and advisories, police just being the first department to come under the civil defense umbrella.
That's right. So this is really an opportunity for us to test out how this works.
We're the guinea pigs.
There's the civil defense side and the police side, but I think the strategy going forward is to see, and maybe there's other departments that have messages they would like to get out to the public, and this could be the best way to do it.
It's really exciting, because the early feedback that I'm getting from people is that it's a lot easier and it's really simple, and they love the customization. Like, I can get this, but not that. And I want to get tsunami alerts and police activity, but I don't care about everything else. And so just because we can't repeat this enough, what is the website they go to sign up for Everbridge notices?
So they go to, one option is hawaiicounty.gov/civil-defense. They scroll down to one of the first tiles that says alerts. You click that. You're brought to a page. The very first link at the top, that's the one you click to create or update your account.
And then it's also available on the police website, hawaiipolice.gov.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Tom. I know it's really an exciting opportunity. We at Police Department are looking forward to joining the Everbridge system and falling under the civil defense umbrella. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Denise.
And thank you for watching us today. Stay tuned for the next episode of Police Profiles. Aloha.
I am Officer Kaipo Aurello of the Hawaii Police Department, and I am here to ask for your assistance in locating individuals who you will see in just a moment. Our department depends on you to work with us by acting as our eyes and ears out in the community. If you provide an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers, you may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers is a volunteer program run by ordinary citizens like you who want to keep our community safe. Here's how it works. First, get a code. Next, use your code to track your status and then collect your reward. It's that easy. Here are some individuals we need your help in locating. Please call if you know their whereabouts.
Be on the lookout for 45-year-old John Apt, who is wanted on a $10,000 warrant. Apt is Caucasian, 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, with graying blonde hair and blue eyes. He is known to frequent Waimea and Lower Puna areas. Help us locate 29-year-old Joshua Kealoha, who is wanted on a $2,000 warrant stemming from a previous arrest for excessive speeding, DUI, and driving with a suspended, revoked driver's license. Kealoha is part Hawaiian, 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. He is known to frequent Waimea and Kailua Kona areas. We are looking for 22-year-old James Grimes, who is wanted on a $2,000 warrant. Grimes is Caucasian, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 140 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He has tribal-style tattoos on his upper left arm and lower right leg. Grimes is known to frequent the Waikoloa and Kailua Kona areas. Let us know if you know the whereabouts of 33-year-old Pono Catret, who is wanted on a $1,000 warrant. He is part Hawaiian, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 135 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He also has a tribal-style tattoo on his lower left leg and is known to be in the Waimea and Kailua Kona areas. We are looking for 42-year-old Cole Race Joaquin, who is wanted for a $50,000 arrest warrant. Race Joaquin is 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Puna, Hamakua, and Ka'u districts. Help us locate 39-year-old Casey Hui Assam, who has 2 outstanding warrants totaling $35,000. Known to frequent the Honoka'a and Waimea areas, Hui Assam is 5 feet 10 inches tall, 190 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Let us know if you know the whereabouts of 31-year-old Clyde Loa Jr., who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants totaling $100,000, an arrest warrant for escape, and also a Paris warrant. Loa Jr. escaped from Halenani Correctional Facility in Hilo on December 13, 2024, and should be considered armed and dangerous. He is described as having a thin build, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 225 pounds, with long wavy black hair, uncut facial hair, and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Hilo, Puna, and Ka'u areas. Hawaii Police Department requests your assistance in locating 38-year-old Keali'io Kekai Kamanu, who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants and 3 APBs. Kamanu is described as having a medium build, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He frequents Lower Puna, mostly the Kalapana and Leilani Estates areas. Please help us locate 33-year-old Christopher Matos, who is wanted on 3 outstanding warrants and 5 APBs. Matos has a large build, is 5 feet 11 inches tall, 195 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Lower and Upper Puna area. Matos is also known to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 25-year-old Liam Zelber, who is wanted on 4 outstanding warrants and 3 APBs. Zelber has a thin build, is 5 feet 6 inches tall, 140 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. Known to frequent the Hawaiian Acres and Fern Acres subdivisions, Zelber is known to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Please be on the lookout for 44-year-old Ross Piper of Ocean View, who is wanted on 2 outstanding warrants totaling $2,000, as well as for questioning relative to multiple criminal investigations involving auto theft. Piper is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 165 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 39-year-old Kendrick Sanders, who is wanted for questioning for multiple criminal investigations involving violating a temporary restraining order. He is described as being 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sanders is known to frequent the Ocean View and South Kona areas.
As always, we want to thank you for your assistance in helping us to locate these individuals. Tipsters who prefer to remain anonymous may call the island-wide Crime Stoppers number at 808-961-8300 and may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers does not record calls or use caller ID. Hawaii Island's Most Wanted is a project of Crime Stoppers Hilo, Inc., which is a partnership of the business community, the media, and the police. It was inspired by the national TV show America's Most Wanted. I am Officer Kaipo Aurello of the Hawaii Police Department. Mahalo for watching.
Keeping our island community informed and secure. Be alert, be aware, and care. Together we can have a safe Hawaii.